TD, a tutty, taking it to the house. Whatever you call a touchdown, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Ready to place your first NFL bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score a touchdown. You have game lines, passing props, and rushing props. You can bet on the first quarter or first half if you feel like your team starts slow or charges out of the gate. I know how my team starts. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
Split the defense.
Welcome to Split the Defense, Leafs post-game, presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors, serving the Kingston and surrounding area since 2004, proud member of the Hockey Podcast Network. I'm Webby with CP and producer Ted in the booth, as always. Game 4. Is that where we're at now? Game 4.
Game 4, yeah.
And the Leafs just absolutely smoked the Kings. We got a great episode ahead. We got lots to talk about, lots to speculate. Thumbs up this episode, subscribe to our YouTube, leave us a comment, and now more than ever, we need you to download the show in podcast form and leave us 5 stars there while you're at it, please and thank you. So, final score of this game, Toronto Maple Leafs 6, LA Kings 2. This is great. The Kings even outshot the Leafs. That's some score effects, obviously. Leafs play great defense. McMahon had 2. They cracked the power play. There's so much to talk about, but let's get first things first. Just one name. Who do you got? Who's our first star?
Bobby McMahon, my boy Bobby. Really has proven the coaching staff wrong of giving him a scratch in game 1. So, yeah, good to see Bobby playing good. And yeah, he's always had the shot, right? He's always been able to score. So good to see. It's just like what he was before we lost him last year.
Well, yeah, Bobby McMahon is the McMahon.
Yeah.
Bobby McMahon is the McMahon. He scores 2 tonight and now has 3 goals in 3 games after being scratched on opening night. He's causing shit with Danault tonight. He just absolutely leveled somebody tonight. He is built for a Berube system. This man is going to thrive. And how many years at $1.3 million is he signed for? 2 or is it 3? Like,
I think it's 2.
He's here for
yeah,
this and next. $1.3 million.
yeah, just beautiful.
Just beautiful. I love me some Bobby McMahon. Me and my Bobby McMahon. Go and check out our TikTok if you haven't already. We got a great video made by producer Ted on there. Janice Joplin and Bobby McMahon. Crossover you never thought would happen.
Yeah.
So where we go from next, I think we should talk about Patches being scratched and how Reeves got in over Patches.
Yep.
Do you find that interesting or do you think that was warranted?
I don't think it was warranted. I think that it was just that the fourth line has been working with those players, and to switch it up and making Lorentz play on the right or Patches play on the right, it was tweaking a little bit too much. I think, Patches even admitted himself that like game 1 he loved. Game 2, he thought like he was kind of proud that he put in a good effort on a back-to-back since like a guy that hasn't played much. And game 3, he didn't like his game. So I think Berube probably didn't like his game. I'm not sure if it was warranted, though. But when you look at the lineup, I kind of can understand, like I think that Bobby was kind of vibing the last couple games. Robertson, I don't think they're going to scratch him for a bit. Holmberg, I guess, would be the guy. But he's a key penalty killer. He's a kind of the go-to guy for Berube, it seems like. So, I can understand it, I guess, but I don't think it was because of poor play, just how the lineup shook out.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting that Reeves wasn't the one to come out and all of that, but I guess, yeah, you're right. And I wonder if they're just maybe working through some things with Patches to get him back into his stride. Because there was talk of that. There's been articles that have come out, and he said himself that the reason that he came here was the medical staff and how much they can help him get back to where he needs to be the effective player. He doesn't want to come out here and half-ass it, and you know what? We appreciate that, Patches. We appreciate that.
But he's also been putting in extra work after practice with coaching staff, so I don't think it's like a sense that his body's hurting, because I'm not sure he would be doing that extra work. So tough to call. But
I don't know how much of it's hurting as trying to get bad habits of compensation from
possibly,
your other parts of your
true.
body and your muscles out of your game. And I believe that's what I read in the article.
Right.
So that's what he's trying to do is to learn how to do things better, more posture, better technique.
Right. Good point by Justin, too. Like, Patches wasn't expected to play, if you said that he played 3 out of the first 4 games, I'd be like, okay, like that's pretty good, especially for a guy.
But he's been legit.
Yeah. Right? No, it's not like I don't think it's a true scratching, and it's just like, like you said, maintenance type of a thing, I guess. But
just saying over Reeves? Like, over Reeves?
Yeah.
Really?
I still point back to the positioning wise, it just didn't quite make sense. I think if it was long term, I think it would be no question, and then I have a more of a argument for it, like with you, about Reeves getting scratched. If it's like this is just like one time, and then Patches is getting put back in the lineup next game, then I can understand it more.
I hope Reeves is the one taken out next, but we did have Timothy Liljegren back tonight. It's his first game of the season, right? Fourth game of the year, first game for Timmy Lil. And kind of looked like a first game of the year for Timothy Liljegren. For something you messaged me, and I didn't ask what you mean. I think I must have missed it. And you said first chance for Lily to do something, and he blows it. What happened there?
So it's just like his first shift, the puck gets dumped in, and he's forced to make the first physical play of the game, and he just gets creamed, loses the puck, loses possession. So, I mean, right off the start, and it wasn't like it was probably 2 shifts later, and he steps on the puck and falls, and I just thought that was as tough as a start of a game could go for Liljegren. I thought, I did feel though that he did the things that he normally does pretty well. Like, he can make a good pass. I think he struggled at the things that he's always struggled at, and it's any physicality in the game. Like, I'm not sure the guy's won a physical battle in his entire life, and like, sure, that's not for everyone, but when you look at someone who's like outsized, like Nick Robertson, at least he's scrappy. Like, you can tell that there's a little bit of scrap in there. He knows how to get under a guy. Liljegren, there's just none of that. He tries to just go body to body with everyone that's bigger than him, and he loses. So I don't know, like, there's been a lot of talk if this was a showcase or if this was, trying to get him to the lineup. I hope it's a showcase. I'm a little bit done with the Timothy Liljegren experiment.
What a bad showcase. He also took a penalty tonight. Didn't look great. Many instances, lots of camera time because it was his first game. Just not looking good for Timothy Liljegren.
Yeah.
On a positive note, though, Willie and JT both score on the power play tonight. Power play is now 2 for 13, which is a humming 15.3%. We're back in the game, baby. We're back in the game. A couple more good nights, and we're right up around that 20% mark, 20+% mark, and we're, top 5 in the league. So that's what I'm talking about. And 4 for 4 on the PK tonight. So that's better. I'm just going to jump right ahead because this is basically where I'm leading. Is this team actually different after 4 games? Do you feel any different about this team? Am I seeing different things? Or am I just getting in over my head like a typical Leafs fan in this situation? Because I feel like this team is different. They haven't let in more than 2 goals in their first 4 games. They're scoring in bunches again. They're playing a completely different style. They seem fast. One thing they haven't been in years is fast, and they seem fast. And I don't know, but this team feels different. Am I wrong?
It's definitely different, you know. I don't know, are you trying to say like this is a team that's going to go on a deep playoff run? Is that where you're leading me here?
100%.
Yeah. So I mean, I think everything that I've seen is positive. You know, like the D is better. The whole team is playing a more like forward approach, north south as they like to call it. You know, very direct but you're also seeing like in the last few games that, you know, the creativity is still able to be there on the top line. Marner's just kind of found his groove again. So I think it's like a bunch of things that are kind of clicking here. Obviously, like if you just rule out game 1, I think that it's like easily I'm pretty excited about this team. You know, you still got to kind of look at game 1. They got shut out by Montreal and, you know, Sam who knows what, like I said, but I think that like I love how it's been going though. Like I think it's just everything about this coach I love more. Even just the ability or the willingness to put OEL on the power play instead of Riley because it's not working. Like I just think that that's something that Keefe just was so reluctant to do before. So I think that everything is good about this team. Also, just like the defense is like light years better than it was last year. You know, Tanev and OEL are like doing a lot tonight as well. I even felt like Benoit didn't have as many of those moments I was talking about where he gets beat down the boards. So I think that like it's all around it's great. Like I'm not about to announce that this is the year yet, but I'm definitely way more excited than I was during the game 1 post game. And yeah, it's just more of a team that you can cheer for. I wasn't super excited about how they finished off this game. Like, I mean, they got ahead and like really in the second period, they kind of let it go for a solid 5 to 10 minutes where they were just like in survival mode. So I think like those type of moments and stuff, like you're still going to have to work through, but possibly their approach is a little bit better to survive those. Like every team's going to have those moments. There's no way you're just going to play 60 minutes of perfect hockey all the time. So it's just like, how do you manage those moments? Like Stolarz is a big part of that. I think like he came up in big moments tonight. So yeah, I think like everything about this team I like more than last year. Like just losing Tyler Bertuzzi isn't the end of the world for this offense, like everyone was saying.
Not
like,
at all.
No, like I don't even
at all.
I don't even remember that he was on this team from like when I'm watching the game. Like
Who
Nyes
dat?
to
Bye,
me,
Felicia.
yeah, Nyes to me just like belongs on the top line. He's just so perfect. I know he's like another year older, but he's just the perfect guy for that, and you can see it tonight. Like he played really well.
So I want to lead into something you said about Stolarz there. Stolarz the starter now? This man made 32 stops tonight. He's got a .940 save percentage in 3 games that he's played because Hildeby started one of them.
Yep.
Is he just the guy now, or is he just going to go sit on the bench when Joseph Wool comes back? How much goodwill has that guy built up to stay the Leafs' #1 goalie?
I mean, there was never just going back and sitting on the bench. Like it was always going to be a tandem. And I just think that like he's clearly the #1. You just like if a guy's here, he's healthy and playing, he's the #1. I just I think they said Wall only has played 39 professional hockey or NHL games, and like this is a guy that we're just like declaring the starter all of a sudden. So
thank you for saying that, CP. As an outsider, I've always thought that, and as soon as you guys got Stolarz, I was like, he's your #1. That's always been in my head. And
right.
And yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah,
it looks very obvious that way now after just 3 games of him. Like, yeah, I have all the confidence in the world in this guy. I feel so comfortable when the puck is in our end. It's ridiculous how comfortable I feel.
Yeah, I
the
totally
saves
agree.
that he makes, the 10 bellers and the ones that he's supposed to, and like when one goes in, I'm not even like, oh, that was a backbreaker.
No,
I guess we haven't had those moments yet, but like he's been lights out. So my question is, he's the starter now, right? That's your answer. He's going to be the starter now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, except for when he's playing the puck. I mean, I think any goalie that scares me. So it's not just Stolarz, but I just think that he's just so comfortable. I think you're obviously gonna have to. You're not gonna be able to go 3 out of 4 games like the entire season. So there has to be something. Like Wall either has to figure out his like I think it's muscle tightness, whatever the hell that means. But if it's even Hildeby or like a mix of Matt Murray and Hildeby. Like I think that like this, you're gonna just have to like be okay with that and just be happy that you kind of have this guy. I think at this point he's proven like from I think it's like 2 seasons now he's been one of the top goalies as far as save percentage, like high danger chances saved, like all these different stats. And he's coming in another season and he's proving that nothing's kind of changed. So yeah, I just think that like he's maybe hitting a perfect spot. And actually, and he also said, like in his interview, I think it was like yesterday or something, that he's this 5 or 6 goal game is coming. Like there's no doubt that it's in his future. He's not going to be this goalie every single game, but just to put in a good resume and be more consistent, like that's the number one thing he's like looking to do. So yeah, I think that mission accomplished so far.
Absolutely mission accomplished. He's won me over, same as many of Leafs Nation. So next thing here, Matthews gets his first goal tonight. Captain Matthews first point,
yep.
First goal. He is just firing on all cylinders now, looking like Poppy again. That goal that he scored, he fanned on the original shot, which may or may not have went in. But after he fanned, he had everybody so far out of their shorts and looking for where the puck was because they're like, oh no, it's like he never does that, right? Yeah. And he just sniped it right in the back of the net. Riddick had no chance, had absolutely no chance. Now, great for Matthews to get his first goal. Great for this team to play great tonight. How much do we read into such a massive win against clearly not very good LA Kings team with Dave Riddick in net?
Yeah, big save Dave or no save Dave. I mean, they definitely capitalized on their opportunities. I'm not sure many goalies make a save on that, though. Like, as soon as he whiffed on it, I knew he was going to score. Yeah, like he whiffed. Everybody like didn't even know how to react, like you said, and it was like Riddick. I don't think saw the puck at any point after that because like it went in and out of the net, and he's kind of looking side to side, like. So I mean, yeah, as soon as that happened, I knew he was going to snipe it. So I mean, you can't plan those out that well, but taking advantage of a good opportunity for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wonder just partly. Like I'm really liking what I see, and you just went on a great long rant about everything that you like too. And there's lots of positives to take in about this team after these 4 games. It's only 4 games. It's B. I wonder how much this is going to face off against some of the better teams. Is New Jersey one of the better teams, or is Pittsburgh one of the better teams? Hell, is Montreal one of the better teams? Like, I don't know. Are any of these teams really teams that we expect to be anything beyond fringe teams? So we'll have to see where we stack up against the Bostons and the Carolinas and the Floridas of the world before we really start going to judge this team. Because I really am loving riding the wave, but I just kind of wonder, this LA team, they kind of sucked. They kind of sucked tonight. Let's be honest.
I mean, I think they kind of sucked for a period, and then, I mean, it's kind of tough to dig out that hole. So, I mean, I think that, like, LA is probably a middle, like, top middle-ish team. New Jersey, I would say, is probably, like, potentially that or potentially much better. Hard to say at this point. So yeah, like I think there's a couple of good teams in there, but like you said, like even like in the first 10 games, you want to get off to a good start, but like I don't necessarily think that anyone is exactly who they are in game 80. Like it's a long season. Like the more important games I think are from 20 to 70 or 20 to 60, the meat of the season. So yeah, I guess we'll just like see how this goes for sure. Yeah, I love what's happening. And like obvious, and the biggest like glaring thing about the team that wasn't good was the power play. And just like even if they hadn't have scored tonight, I still thought it looked much better. Like it's not just moving Riley off it and putting OEL on the line. It's that like Matthews was driving in a bit more, a lot more movement. Willie,
There
like
was a couple power plays. They weren't great at the beginning of the game, but they did find it. Yes.
They were good in the zone. The whole problem is getting into the zone.
Getting into the zone.
So like that's the whole like I think they've kind of figured out the when they have control of the puck in the zone. But yeah, still a big problem is getting it in there. I think that like really you just got to give it the puck to Willie.
That's what she said.
Yeah. How many of those do I have? Like if you clip all of the friggin' things I said on here that just didn't come out right, it would be quite the gag reel. But yeah, I think like just give the puck to Willie because like it just seems like they're giving it to Marner too much, and he's trying to like make some little fancy like pass to get it in the zone. And Willie's way more willing to just drive through the middle and make a pass once he's got into the zone. So yeah, they definitely have to figure that out more though.
Absolutely. All right, now we should take a second for a message from our sponsors at Game Time. What time is it? Game time. Hockey is back. Whether it's crashes in the corners or stick taps on the boards, the sound of hockey gets me excited to get out to a game. And when I buy my tickets, I use Game Time. Game Time has tickets to all events, not just sports. And when searching for tickets, I look through the super deals or even the amazing deals icons, and I know I'm getting the best deals possible. Plus, check out Game Time's new feature called Game Time Picks. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Curated deals make it easier to find the best price on great seats. The best feature, though, is Seat View. I love this feature. You can get a panoramic view from your seat before you even buy. The best part? No surprise fees at checkout thanks to their all-in pricing feature. Lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. They offer event cancellation protection and even job loss protection. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create account, redeem code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. So I wanted to ask you who you think is more important to the team right now between Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Chris Tanev. But I think that's a silly question because Morgan Rielly seems like a different human being this year. Does he not? If anybody has benefited from this Chris Tanev signing, obviously the guy playing with him. But Morgan Rielly, it's like he's got new joy in his life. His goal that he scored tonight was absolutely beautiful, which was fed to by McCabe when he was playing with McCabe, by the way. But him and Tanev have just been amazing, and it just seems like we have such a steady top four. It's so calming, and to see Morgan Rielly so happy, it just makes me feel good on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, before the season started, if you asked me this question, who is going to be more impactful, OEL or Tanev, I would have thought you were crazy. You know, like my expectations of what OEL was going to be isn't what we've been experiencing, you know, and I think he's only getting better as his confidence is getting higher. I still think that it's Tanev just for the reason you said, like it's a number one shutdown guy that makes Rielly just look so much better. It's like the days when Rielly played with Hainsey, but the guy is actually a really good defenseman. That's his partner. You know, no offense to Hainsey, but he was so on the back end of his career. And this is a guy that's like, you know, right in his later prime. So I think that it's just a perfect solution to having Rielly. Because I think also Rielly was starting to lose a little bit of favor with the fans just based on not having the right situation for him. And so I think now that it gives him the opportunity. And yeah, he's not on, like when he scores the goal, you know, Tanev isn't on the ice with him, but I think just the top four in general is just so strong now. But we're getting something from OEL that I wasn't expecting. I really like his game. He jumps up in really good situations. And I think that, long stick and I haven't seen those. I was really expecting like these blow up shifts from him.
Long stick. That's what she said.
Yeah, there's another one. Add it to the list. But yeah,
Hockey's actually terrible for that.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah. I like my big D's. That's for sure.
Yeah. Long D.
Long D and big D. Yeah. But yeah, I forget what I was saying, but whatever my point was, it was good.
Sorry. OEL's got a long stick, and he is a lot better than we
the blow-up
expected him
shifts.
to be.
I was saying that I was expecting these
Go
big
ahead.
blow-up shifts. But just, I haven't been seeing them. He's been, quite reliable. The top four has just been really reliable. So I think like as soon as we lock down, consistent. Like, and I think as soon as you lock down who the third right defenseman is, then like you have a really solid core of defensemen here. Because I think Benoit, we said all year we really loved his play, but imagine if he played on the third pair. Like that's the perfect spot for Benoit. And and I think that it still is.
Yeah, Simon Benoit. So you want to talk about a logjam? We've got forwards, we've got defensemen. Like, where's Myers ever going to play? Is he ever going to play? I like that guy. I don't know if he's going to play. Yanni Hakanpää is on the IR. He's expected to return Halloween. That's when his IR stint. Well, I mean, he doesn't have to return, but
That's when it runs
ends.
out. You can renew it.
Probably going to have to renew it. But I don't even know what. But anyways, that's a totally different story. But there's so many guys that, like talking about patches earlier in this game, there's so many guys that are still yet to play. We have Connor Dewar, who is still yet to play. Where does he fit in? And Calle Jarnkrok. And that leads me to, what about Nick Robertson? If you could pick one word for Nick Robertson over these last 3 games, what would it be?
Ooh. Geez, that's a
And
tough
we don't
one.
have to think about the loss, just the wins. Just even in the wins.
I don't
Has he
know,
been
like forgettable.
underwhelming?
Underwhelming. Yeah. I mean, it hasn't been amazing. He hasn't been potting goals.
That's a word.
Yeah. I just think that he, like, I don't know. I don't want to give up on him because I'm not sure that, like, his line has been good in general whenever he's been on it. Maybe that's his fault. Maybe it's not. But, I do think, like, he made a really good defensive play tonight. The one time I really noticed him, he, like, a really solid back check. Those are the things that keep you in the lineup. So I think that's why I'm not saying like pull him out. Like Reeves has to go before he does, and so but no question, underwhelming. There's no debate.
Do you think he fits in there with JT as a third line winger? With JT as his third line center?
Well, I think that like you could have one of Holmberg or Robertson on there. But I think that's where the Pacioretty comes into play. And, if Holmberg gets bumped to the fourth line, I think that would be the better play. And, and then
Isn't that crazy, though? And then, like, you got Lorentz and Kampf, and, like, hey, Reeves has definitely got to go, because then we got Dewar, and we got Holmberg, and we got... Somebody's got to be traded, and I feel like they're just going to love their depth and probably get rid of a guy like Nick Robertson, so that way they can just keep flipping these guys all in, get an asset. I don't know, man. It just seems like the writing's starting to be on the wall here. Preseason was great, but he was given all the opportunity. He was the number one shot. Like, he was the guy getting the puck all the time. And now that he's not, he's really just not overly impressing. And I think that's... every time I look at this IR list, it's like, well, where do these guys play? What about Calle Jarnkrok? I was thinking that tonight. Okay, well, then you take Ryan Reeves out. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, what about Connor Dewar? And what about, you start asking these questions, and you have to say, well, who can sit and who's going to go? And I just really wonder if Nick Robertson's not going to find it here, and he just needs to go somewhere else.
The problem is that like just getting rid of Nick Robertson doesn't get Calle Jarnkrok onto the roster because of the dollar and cents of it. So I think that's where like as soon as if Liljegren gets shipped out, then like all of the money issues are over. You have enough room to bring back these guys. And I think Connor Dewar is a guy that goes on waivers. I'm not so sure that, he hasn't, the coach hasn't seen him play. So like, what's he know? Like, unless someone gets injured, then he's not coming into the lineup.
He's a
So
firecracker.
yeah, I just think that he's getting, he'll probably go through waivers, and I'm not sure if he'll make it or not, but he's kind of a fringy guy.
it.
He's not that like outstanding though, It's like he's a guy that you like in the later half of the season as insurance going into the playoffs, but like he's like a fourth line left winger. I'm not sure, like he's a fourth line centerman probably at his peak. I'm not concerned about Dewar, that's for sure. But yeah, I just think like neither Dewar or getting rid of Robertson makes the money work. So yeah, like
But
it's
now
either
there's like, I just wonder where everybody plays, because you got Pacioretty and like there's just so many guys that aren't playing right now, and half of them are hurt. And when they all come back, how does it all fit? Somebody's got to go, man.
the thing
Can't
is
just be
every
the money
time
thing. Some forward's gonna have to go out the door in that package or in a separate deal.
the thing is every time we have this conversation, someone gets injured, and then like it's a question that gets pushed down the road. So like it is one of those where like until it happens, I think like even Calle Jarnkrok, like is he a guy that's ever gonna be really healthy? Like he might sit until there's an opportunity for him to get into the lineup, because like I'm not necessarily sure like how, like over the course of the last 2 years he hasn't played a lot of hockey. So I guess like that's a wait and see thing. I think like you just got to make the money work so they can all fit onto the roster, whether they play or not. I'm not sure like that. That's something that can rotate and be more of a rotisserie. But the just making the dollars, like it's Jarnkrok or Liljegren, I think, or Kampf. But I think like for like the roster to be full and all these guys to be healthy, then yeah, like one of the people making more than $1.1 million has to go.
Yeah, I guess there's an argument to be made there. I just wonder if they don't have as much value, because like, if you're saying I don't want this guy, why do we want him? Why would we give you shit for him? Nick
it's not that we
Robertson
don't want him,
actually
it's
will
we
get
can't
you
pay him.
something, and he's just not really performing. But anyways, that can be continued on in another show. Do you want to have any more lashes about this game before we get out of here?
No, the only thing that I think we didn't really get onto too much was the switching of the lines. And I just like I really was happy because I like was just so like praising Willie and Domi last game, and I was like, yeah, it's never really worked when you brought JT back into the fold here and try and make that work. So I was glad that they just kind of left that alone, went with it, and put JT on his own line. And like there's obviously some tweaking there. Like they didn't have the greatest. Like their expected goals tonight is 0. Like that's pretty bad.
I saw that. So I was okay. Honestly, I was gonna bring some fancy stats to the party tonight, and I was like, this can't be right. I don't even understand how these work. I don't think
it's because they
0.56. I'm like, how the fuck is that?
Well, I mean, like, what opportunity did they have?
Fancy stats don't matter. We're winning 6-2. Like, fucking, who cares? Right?
I knew the fancy stats would be bad just based on how the game went. Like, it was a get ahead early. You still kind of like didn't like totally dominate the first because you lost the last 5 minutes of it. You come into the second, you play like dog shit. And then you kind of survive the rest of the game. You get lucky a couple times with goals. So, like, I knew that the fancy stats weren't amazing.
A couple times with goals. Wow, CP, tell me how you
rough,
really feel.
That was tough.
Wow, buddy.
Clip it.
All right. You heard it here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, let's get the hell out of here. We are Split the Defense Leafs post game. Thanks for joining us. Presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors, serving the Kingston and surrounding area since 2004. Proud member of the Hockey Podcast Network. We appreciate your comments. Hit that like button. Subscribe on YouTube. Tell your friends. Download the podcast. Rate it 5 stars. And until next time.
Peace.
Peace.
And I got to play this once just because I didn't earlier.
Perfect. We can't hear it.
You can't hear it? No. It's not coming through? Oh, I'm trying to play the Bobby McGee thing. Or the,
It's not working.
Oh, well. Yep. Peace.
All right. Peace.
All right, peace.
Follow the boys on Twitter at STDPWebby, at Craig D. Pearce, and at Ted_is_shook.